Welcome to our first episode of Harris Explorers Podcast, where we will interview people from different careers to explore different jobs.
Let's start by introducing ourselves and sharing our favorite movie. My name is Adelie, and my favorite movie is Princess and the Frog.
My name is Ong, and my favorite movie is Godzilla vs. Kong.
My name is Lucy, and my favorite movie is the live-action Beauty and the Beast.
My name is August, and my favorite movie is Transformers.
This is Mr. Ealing, and he is a crime scene detective for Fort Wayne Police Department. Why did you decide to become a detective?
I've been on the Fort Wayne Police Department for 15 years. For the first 14 years, I was a regular police officer that you guys see driving around the cars kind of every day. After 14 years of doing that, I decided I wanted to try something a little bit different.
What training or schooling did you have for this position?
So the position as a crime scene detective specifically, there is 12 weeks of training that we do on the department. And then at the conclusion of those 12 weeks, there is a mock crime scene and mock trial. So they will set up a fake crime scene that you have to go and find all of the evidence. And you basically, start to finish, it's you working by yourself to process a whole scene, do all of the paperwork, package all of the evidence, get everything prepared for court, and then at the end of that week, you have a pretend court trial where they ask you questions like you are in actual court. But for the job of a police officer in general, there's a very long hiring process. It takes about 6 months right now. There's a written test you have to take. There's a physical fitness test, which is like gym class. You do running, push-ups, sit-ups, jumping, and then there's a bunch of interviews that you have to do, and then you have to go see a doctor, and the doctor looks at your heart, takes x-rays, and makes sure you're healthy enough to be a police officer. And if you've passed all of those tests, then you get in the police academy, which is about 22 weeks.
What is a day in the life of a crime scene detective like?
So I start my day every day at my desk. I have a desk job now. I don't drive around in the police cars that you guys see around the street. So I start my day. Every day I go to work at my desk, and if I have open cases from previous days, I check in on those and see if the stuff I have sent to the lab for testing, if that's back from the lab and what results they've got, so I can put it in the case and send it to the detective. I catch up on any reports that I have, and if there's evidence that I've collected that still needs to be packaged or put into the evidence room, I take care of that stuff. And then if all of my work is complete, then I basically sit at my desk and wait.
What's the most difficult part about your job?
The most difficult part about being a crime scene detective is we always go when something bad has happened. We don't ever, nobody calls the crime scene people for cake and cookies. We always go when something bad has happened to somebody.
Is your job safe, or have you been hurt?
My job as a crime scene technician is relatively safe. Like we talked about, by the time the crime scene detectives get there, everything's pretty much done. All the scene is safe. The bad guys are either gone or are arrested, and our job's to collect evidence. Now, the job of a normal police officer that you see driving those other cars is very dangerous. They never really know what to expect. I have been hurt on the job. Early on in my career, I got in a fight with a guy that I was trying to arrest and ended up with a bunch of broken bones. I've slipped and fallen on the ice and hurt my knee.
What is the scariest thing you've experienced at work?
There's not a whole lot of scary things that happen there, because by the time we get there, all the bad stuff has already happened, and we're just there to try and figure out who did it and how it happened. So there have been some times when I was a regular police officer before I got in the crime scene part where wasn't really sure if this person was going to hurt me, or if they had a gun, if they were going to try and murder me or shoot me or whatever the case may be. That's probably the scariest part of the job, is you don't know.
What equipment do you use on a regular basis?
The equipment that I use most as a crime scene detective is a camera. We take a lot of pictures with a digital still picture camera, and then we've got a video camera. So when we get there, what we have to do is we have to document the scene of the crime, and that's helpful. So when we go to court, we can show the jury what that place looks like. So I can describe to you this room with my words, and I can write it down in a report that we're sitting in a room with white walls and a weird bluish grayish carpet, and it's got some shelves in it and stuff like that. And you can use your imagination and picture what that room looks like. But if I take a bunch of pictures of that room and we go to court and I can show you, then you can actually kind of get a better understanding of what that room actually looked like. You don't have to use your imagination, because some people may think a weird bluish gray carpet is different than what this actually is. And if I just say there's shelves along the walls, shelves can be different types of shelves. But if I have a picture of that red bookcase against the wall, and you can see that, then you know exactly what that room looked like.
What do you enjoy most about your job?
My favorite part of being a police officer is helping people. But my favorite part of being a crime scene technician is when we finally put the entire case together and we've figured out who did it. Because then the family of whoever got hurt knows who hurt their family member. It's not a mystery, they don't know. And if we know who did it, then we can make the community safer by putting them in jail.
How many criminals have you arrested?
That is a great question, and I don't have an exact answer for you, but it's probably more than 100, I would say, in 14 years.
What are your hobbies outside of work?
I've started running again for fun. It seems like a weird thing to do is run for fun, but I started doing that again. So I do enjoy running. I really like watching sports, mostly hockey. Hockey's my favorite sport. And occasionally I play music. I'm a percussionist. I play the drums. I have a drum set at home.
This concludes our first episode of Harris Explorers podcast. Join us next time to see what career we will explore.